All right. Hey guys, how's it going? We're starting the live stream right now. This is for the month of May. This is the first weekend in the month of May. I'm going to let this run a little bit here so everybody can jump online into the live stream, and then we'll get started. I'll be doing some Q&A, and I will also be doing a giveaway a little bit later on in the live stream. I've got my popcorn again, although I'm doing light butter popcorn this time. And I also have a few things. Some of you guys left some questions in my post here on YouTube, so I'm going to be addressing a couple of the questions in there. And yeah, don't worry. I'll give you guys an update on my arm. As you can see, I can move it a little bit here. I can kind of use it a little bit. So I'll give you guys an update on that in just a minute. Hey, Mexico, how's it going? Alex, you got the stereo looper. Excellent, man. I'm glad you like it. That was a really cool pedal. I'm also going to see if I can watch my own live stream here on my laptop, so I can get these questions a little bit better here. Okay. All right. Little bit of latency there. From Bangladesh, hey, how's it going? Joe, you bought one of the Wolf LPs and you love it. That's awesome. Yeah, I love mine. Of course, I still have it, that red one that I got. One of the many guitars I'm looking forward to playing once again, once I get my arm back in action here. James, thank you. Thanks a lot. Netherlands, Indiana. Thank you. Yeah. It's one of my favorite shirts. Fretmaster, the Court, I think it was a CR250. I haven't had a chance to play that one, but I can say just generally, a lot of the Court guitars are really, really nice. It's kind of a underappreciated brand. Slovenia, hey, how's it going? I didn't catch. Ohio, Sydney. Right on. Thanks, Alex from Mexico. How you doing? So, guys, first I'll talk a little bit about my arm. So, for anybody who didn't already know, most of you guys are probably regular viewers of the channel, so you probably already know this. But for anybody who didn't already know, I injured my arm a while ago when I was moving furniture. It was just a stupid accident, and I tore my bicep tendon on my left arm. And you can tear it up at the shoulder or you can tear it at the elbow. I tore mine at the elbow, which is actually not very common. It usually tears at the elbow. And but what happened was the tendon that attaches the bicep to the bone in your forearm completely tore off the bone. So I had to have surgery on it. So after I injured it, about a week later, I had the surgery. And they essentially used like the medical version of a drywall anchor. They drill a hole in the bone in your forearm, and they put this anchor in there, and then they attach the tendon to that anchor so it holds it all in place. So that holds it on there, and then the tendon, grows back onto the bone. Like the tendon heals, and that anchor holds it in there while it's healing, but the anchor stays in the arm. It's not like they go back in and they take it out later. It's permanently in there. So from what I understand, though, there are some little metal pieces, but it's so small that it's not an issue going through metal detectors or anything like that. So anyway, but fortunately though, shout out to Dr. DiGiacomo at the hospital that's by a great orthopedic surgeon. He did the surgery, had a really good team of people, and I can say the anesthesia was the worst part of the surgery. Like waking up from that, if anybody's had that, it's very disorienting, very sick feeling. But the surgery itself was, at least the recovery has been pretty straightforward, no complications. I'm really happy about that. I think it does help a lot that I was in pretty good shape before, so it's I think I'm healing better because of that. Uh, but yeah, so I had a big bulky cast on. You guys probably saw a couple of those videos where I had the cast on in the video, and my buddy Dan Mum came down and played the guitar during those reviews. So shout out to Dan Mum if you guys haven't checked him out. Um, you woke up during your wisdom teeth surgery? That sounds terrible. Okay, so anyway, so my buddy Dan Mum came down and helped me out with a couple of the reviews. And since then, I've gotten that big cast off, and now I have this brace here, kind of RoboCop thing. And this joint here, which I'm constantly like banging on door frames and stuff. What this does is this limits the range of motion, like how much you can extend the arm, and you can adjust it. So they set it the doctor set it up for me, and then like, okay, every week we want you to adjust it by this much, by tens of degrees. So right now I'm about to 60 degrees out, which is actually pretty good, considering how recent the surgery was. So every week I adjust this a little bit more until I get it, where I can have my arms straight out, and then after that I can take the brace off, and then I'll be able to start physical therapy for, you know, just strengthening the muscle, because the muscles in my arm really haven't been used very much lately. And it's like I've taken the brace off a few times, uh, just to let the skin breathe and that kind of thing. And it's like, it's kind of weird. Like my left arm is now a lot smaller than my right one, which sucks. But, with physical therapy and getting back into my normal workouts eventually, I mean, that'll come back eventually. The other thing is I can't play guitar normally right now. I still can't do that. But what I can do, if I have a guitar on my leg like this, then I can play it like this. So, I can do this sort of thing. But having the guitar down like this requires me to rotate my hand like flat, which I can't do yet. So it's still a little ways off. I'm hopeful though that in a few weeks I'll be able to uh, just play guitar like sitting down. Obviously I'm not going to be jumping around on stage, jumping off the amps or anything. But yeah, I can play it like this. I can't really do chords, things like that, but I can do a little lead playing, just like that. So it's nice. I mean, I'm thrilled with that, because going from not being able to play whatsoever, which was terrible, to being able to do this is like a huge relief for me. So yeah, I can play Guitar Hero, right? That's funny. All right. So that's the update on my arm. Overall, really, I'm really happy with how it's been going. I think as recoveries from this kind of surgery goes, it's gone as good as it can go. So I'm really thrilled with that. So that's the update on the arm. Another thing I want to touch on really quickly is, when I did the first video talking about my arm injury, at that time I started a Patreon page, and quite a few people signed up on there. I think there's like 25 or 26, 27 people signed up on the Patreon page now, which was really, really awesome, guys. If anybody out there is watching who signed up on there, thank you very much for doing that. It's really really appreciate it. Avery's Guitar Stuff, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. But yeah, if you guys want to check that out, If anybody else is interested in that, the Patreon, it's patreon.com/guitarmax. Pretty easy. Um, and I do a few things on there, a little extra posts and things like that. One of the rewards is you get access to my collection of all these backing tracks that I've made, which is like about 50 different backing tracks. So you get all those. You can download all that stuff on there through the Patreon and everything. So anyway, just want to mention that. Um, it's not like a make or break kind of thing, but for people who do want to get involved, it's totally cool. All right. Hey, Hellcat, how you doing? I always read your comments, man. Really appreciate seeing you on here. Mikey, hey, thank you. Thanks tons, man. Fretmaster. Oh, this is a cool question. What's your dream guitar? Well, okay, so this is really tough, right? There's a guitar, there's maybe like a dream guitar that if I like a production guitar that's made that I could go out and buy. There's maybe I could choose one from there, but then maybe if I just totally dreamed up like a totally custom guitar, it would probably be something else. I want to On this topic, I want to give you guys a little preview of Musicians Institute in Los Angeles. Thumbs up for Musicians Institute. I recommend music schools in general. I recommend you go. You don't necessarily have to get a degree, but for learning technique and things like that, music classes in general and the Musicians Institute is a good place. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a super fast preview of a guitar that I will be reviewing, once my arm is back in action, and it's really, really cool. I don't know if I can say that this is my dream guitar because I haven't been able to play it yet, right? But it's definitely very, very, very cool, just from the specs alone. So I'm going to show you guys this. Okay. So, can you see it here? There we go. Check that out. So this is a Schecter E1 Special. Yeah, it's got the Sustainiac electronics in there. Just has a lot of the stuff that I really like. Nice little touch on the back. The back of the neck here is a matte finish, which I love. It still has like a burst finish on the back. And it's got the nice kind of flame quilt, purple transparent finish. 24 frets, nice big jumbo frets. Very, very cool. I hope that it plays and sounds as good as it looks. But I don't know yet. But that'll be coming soon. All right, guys. Yeah, I've got a few other things here. Another thing, actually, this guitar I was just showing you a little bit ago. This one. Nice sort of SG copy here. I shouldn't say copy, SG inspired guitar. I showed you guys that green guitar that I reviewed from All-in-One Guitars recently. This is another one from that same brand. And one of the coolest things, obviously the Wolf guitars, a lot of people love the Wolf guitars. These are made like in the same factory. They're distributed by the same company, that All-in-One Guitars company. But the cool thing about their own brand, the All-in-One Guitar brand, is they can have a lot more variety in the designs and the specs of the instruments. With the Wolf guitars, they're pretty much like, okay, well, this is the Wolf brand, we have to stick with that. But these All-in-One guitars, they have a lot more freedom in the designs and everything. Somebody asking, do I read the comments from my videos? You asked a question a couple days ago. I generally do read the comments. So if you want to go ahead and ask it here, go ahead. I'll try and get it, although the comments go by really quickly. Solar or Chapman guitars? I have never reviewed them, but my DAW of choice is Cubase, Steinberg Cubase. No, I've not reviewed the Solar or Chapman guitars. I've played several Chapman guitars, and they're really cool. I have not. Well, no, that's not true. I did play Solar guitar like at the NAMM show. Cakewalk is good. To be totally honest, I'm not. Uh, 12th fret of my Jackson guitar, which I don't think I have one here. Not sure what you mean. If I had my own signature guitar, what would it be, and what would be the specs on it? Well, real quick, that other question. I don't have a Jackson right here with me. I've got a couple in a case. I honestly I don't think you could see the action on the live stream here, but so I can't tell you exactly what the signature guitar would be, but I can tell you some specs that I generally really like. I like 24 fret guitars. I like big frets, either big tall frets or even a fretboard that is slightly scalloped. Maybe like scalloping from the 12th up to the 24th, that kind of thing. I like a humbucker in the bridge that I can do a coil splitting function on. I like a rail humbucker, like a single coil spaced humbucker at the neck position. No middle pickup. I do not like middle pickups. They just get in the way of my picking, and I never use them. And I don't know if it would be like a Strat, super Strat body, or if it would be a more metal, kind of body shape. I really like the Jackson Warrior body shape. They look really metal, and they actually balance incredibly well. A lot of V's and like the Random Star body shapes actually don't balance very well, but the Warrior, because it has that short upper horn that the excuse me, the strap attaches to, it helps it really balance. Chris, good to see you. So yeah, those are some specs. There's different pickups I like. I like some of the active pickups. Some of the standard EMGs, they're good, but they kind of have that one sound, and if you want a different sound, then you kind of have to go with something else. There are a lot of, I'm talking like the 80, 81 EMGs. But you get into some of the other EMG models, some of the more recent ones, and they have different tones and stuff. But I really like the Seymour Duncan Blackouts. They're hot, active pickups, but they have a much larger, kind of wider tone, I don't know, wider spectrum of the tone. So I guess those are a few things that I would probably put on my signature guitar, but I don't have a signature guitar. And honestly, at this point, being able to check out all of these guitars from different brands is, having that ability is super important to me. And if I had a signature guitar, there'd be kind of a conflict of interest there, where it'd be like, well, I really love this guitar that I'm reviewing right now, but of course it's not as good as my signature guitar. Like I would never want to do something like that. It would just be kind of a bad business move for me. So, or I would be like, wow, this guitar I'm reviewing is fantastic, and well, it's even better than my signature guitar, so nobody should buy that one. They should go get this one. So it would be it would cause problems. Lowest guitar. Sorry. Sorry, guys. These comments are going kind of quick here. I'm gonna try and see if I can look at this on my laptop. Best Super Strat for 400 or 500. Oh, hey, I answered that question. I recognize that comment. I answered that. I think I gave you actually some links on that comment. If you can go back to your original comment and look at my reply on there, you'll get a really solid answer. There's several LTD guitars that fall into that, with a maple fretboard, under $500, under $400 in some cases. So the Jackson JS32 DKAM. Okay, it's a dinky style with a maple fretboard, black inlays, looks really nice. Great fretwork on those guitars. There's also the Harley Benton Fusion Series guitars with a maple fretboard. Yeah, and I think on your original comment, I found a link to a used LTD M400 with a maple fretboard that I put on there. So maybe you can go and find that, and it's still for sale. It was like $320, which is a great deal. All right. So I'm looking over here because I'm reading comments. Yeah, the Ibanez Gem Juniors are good. The Trem, you know. Logan, okay, awesome. Glad you saw it. Yeah, Charvels are great too. They're gonna run you a little more than the price range that that guy had in mind, but the Charvels are great. Harley Benton, okay, Reed. Harley Benton versus Gibson. It's apples and oranges, you know. I mean, do you want a guitar that's like, I mean, do you want a replica guitar? You want a guitar that's exactly like, you know, some classic model? When I say Gibsons, I'm talking about the fake Fender guitars and even the Ibanez guitars and stuff. If you want like an exact model, or if you want like a signature model, right? It's a cheap way to get a signature model is one of these Chinese companies. And they make weird stuff. Like they make signature models that never existed, if that makes any sense at all. Or at the very least, signature models that haven't been made in a long time. That you can get like a Red Beach signature Ibanez with that weird cutout at the bottom of the guitar. So the trem is just hanging in the air. Just super cool. But they haven't made that guitar as a production guitar in, I don't know, like a couple decades or something. But you can buy one brand new from China. So if you're just looking for a great guitar that you just want to get and play, I think you're better off getting a Harley Benton guitar. I think you'll get a better value. But yeah, if you want something like, oh, my favorite guitar player plays this kind of guitar, and I want that exact thing, yeah, then probably a Gibson is the way to go. Harley Benton's fantastic value. Kramer, okay, the Kramer, a lot of great Kramer guitars. The Assault 220, maybe not everybody wants that body style with those specs. Somebody might want a more traditional single cut guitar, but those are really cool. There's a great guitar player, Casey Trask, down in San Diego. He plays in Cage and various metal bands. I think he plays one of those, Kramer's Assault. Oh, that's a cool question. Out of all of the discontinued guitar models, which one would I want back? Well, actually that Red Beach model is really cool. What else? There are some that they brought back, which were gone for a long time, like the Jakey Lee signature model was disappeared for 20 years, but now they make it again. Maybe that yeah, it's really tough. I'll have to think more about that. It's a really good question though. Oh, you want to see the lowest action? Guitar with the lowest action. Jeez. It's tough. To be honest, this might not be the absolute lowest action because I have a bunch of guitars that are in cases or something, but and this is a Squier, guys. This one is pretty freaking low. Can you see that? This one's pretty damn low. That's the Squier Contemporary Active. It's got the active pickups in it, reverse headstock. matte black finish. It's really cool and very affordable. Also the red Wolf guitar LP that I got, that's got super low action. All of the stuff from Wolf or AIO has had really low action on it, but that has to do with their setup that they do on it. Like you can request a certain action level, and they'll do that for you. Yeah. Also, the guitar I got from Dan Thompson, the guitar that he made, it was like a super strat with a couple of humbuckers. That had super low action on it too. I shouldn't say. I mean, it does. I have it here, but that's a little bit hard to get to. Anyway, Ryan. Okay, Ryan's asking, what's the best value guitar you can get for under $800? You can get so many great guitars for four, five, six, $700. I mean, that's such a huge. I mean, if you're willing to spend $800, you're going to have a hard time not getting a great quality guitar. Yeah, I do. I've checked out a lot of the Harley Benton stuff, as you guys know, and I have not had a chance to check out their Fusion series guitars, which are the guitars with the stainless steel frets, kind of a super strat guitar. Those top out at like 400 and something dollars. Like that's the most expensive one you can get, and the specs are off the charts, unbelievable. So I really want to check out one of those. I'm hoping that they are of great quality, as good quality compared to the other Harley Benton guitars that I've gotten in the past, like for the money. If that's the case, that's going to be like the one to beat, especially with those exact specs. Dave, hey, you know what? I bet your son is really cool too. Thank you. Okay, guys, I'm going to I'm going to check my. Oh yeah, okay. So I want to take a few more questions from you guys, but real quick, I want to go over a couple of questions that were asked in the post I did about this live stream about a week ago. So somebody was asking, what's a good budget-friendly guitar with a Floyd Rose or with a Floyd style trem? Let me talk a little bit about just trem. Sorry, my hair is giving me trouble here. Let me talk a little bit about double locking tremolo setups just in general. You've got a licensed Floyd Rose. You've got a Floyd Rose Special. You've got a Floyd Rose. Okay. And then you've got the original Floyd Rose. And you got some weird stuff, low pro, and then you've got all the different Ibanez versions, like the ZR series and things like that, ball bearing ones. So if you go back a few years when licensed Floyd Rose trems were more common, these days everybody's using like a Floyd Rose Special on the low end. If you go back a few years, there was a huge variety in the quality of the trem because they're only licensing like the rights to the design, but the materials and things like that, that would vary depending on who is manufacturing it. So if you get into some of the licensed trems from Jackson, for instance, or ESP or Kramer, okay, some of those ones, or Fernandez, that's another one. Some of those ones were really, really, really good. Dave's son, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. So if you go into some of these particular manufacturers' versions of the licensed Floyd Rose, some of them were really, really good. I had one on an ESP. It was a licensed Floyd Rose. It was phenomenal. I had another one on a Kramer. Phenomenal. Okay, always stayed in tune. Super smooth tuners. Great. Okay. But then you might go to a different brand and you get a licensed Floyd Rose and it's junk. Okay, won't stay in tune. It makes all these creaky noises and everything. The bar is coming loose. Tuners are really hard to turn, all this stuff. So within licensed Floyd Roses, I don't think it's fair to assume that all of them are bad, because some of them are actually really, really good. Now, when you get to the Floyd Rose Special, okay, this is a Floyd Rose. It's supposed to be made to the same specifications, the same specs, dimensions and so forth, as an original Floyd Rose, but it's made at a extremely reduced manufacturing cost, usually in China. And the materials are not the same, and there's a little bit more leeway in how tight these specs have to be adhered to. You guys know what I'm trying to say, right? Plus or minus 5/1000ths of an inch versus plus or minus 1/1000th of an inch, things like that. Floyd Rose Specials are, in my opinion, really not that good, but they are consistent. And so the problems that they have are the same problems on every bridge like that. And so if you're willing to do a little bit of work on them, you can upgrade some parts on them and then have a really good bridge. And the nice thing about it, about them being so consistent, is that there's not going to be any surprises. When you dive and come back up, usually the G string is out of tune. It's always the G string that goes out first. If you want to replace the nut and the locking nuts, you can do that. I always, on Floyd Rose Special, I always replace the arm and the collar that holds the arm. So if you're willing to do a few modifications to them, you can turn them into a perfectly good bridge. Right out of the gate, though, I try and avoid them. But again, that's not to say that if you have a guitar with a Floyd Rose Special bridge on it, it's not junk. It just might need a little help. Okay. Now after that, you get up to a Floyd Rose bridge. Okay, just Floyd Rose. If you get a bridge that just says Floyd Rose on it, that's the Floyd Rose. Now, if you want to get a little more details, which we will do right now because this is confusing, this is the Floyd Rose 1000 series bridge. Okay, these, like the Floyd Rose Specials, are made to the same. They're all made to the same specs. It's all the same design. The Floyd Rose 1000 series is manufactured in South Korea, and they are excellent. Okay. And here's what's really good. People often confuse the Floyd Rose 1000 and the original Floyd Rose bridge. They are made to the same specs, and if you look at them visually, it's hard to tell them apart at a glance. The 1000 series is made in South Korea. The original Floyd Rose is made in Germany. Interesting thing, none of it's made in the USA. Okay, some people get confused about that. Obviously, South Korean manufacturing and German manufacturing is fantastic. Okay, so but if you get a guitar that, like a nicer high-end guitar, like an ESP or a Jackson or something like that, it's going to have that 1000 series. It's going to have the Korean-made Floyd Rose on it. Those are the bridges which are generally sold to manufacturers, OEM parts, right? Original equipment manufacturer. Excuse me. So that's the bridge that you're going to get when you buy a guitar with a Floyd Rose on it. You can get an original Floyd Rose, but you have to buy it specifically from the company, and they tend to be extremely expensive, like $200 and something. And occasionally you will see like a custom shop guitar or something that says comes with the original Floyd Rose. These are rare cases. Okay. Generally, if it says, real Floyd Rose or something like that, it's the Floyd Rose 1000 series. And these are fantastic bridges. So there was a video I did a while ago where I said, this guitar, it was a Harley Benton video, right? The SC Custom. Said, this comes with a real Floyd Rose. That's the Floyd Rose 1000 series. Unless you're specifically saying OFR, original Floyd Rose, that's its own thing. That's something else. But any guitar that you get, any production guitar that you buy new that has a Floyd Rose on it, not a Floyd Rose Special, not a licensed Floyd Rose, but an official Floyd Rose, it's the Floyd Rose 1000 series. And they're great bridges, okay? I mean, I have to specify South Korean, not North Korean, right? But South Korean manufacturing is fantastic. Japanese manufacturing is fantastic. Um, and the Chinese is getting better and better and better all the time. So to answer your original question, I'm sorry this is such a long-winded answer. If you can find any guitar that has a Floyd Rose, that's it. No Floyd Rose special, no license thing. That's going to be a great bridge. Um, and sometimes you can find a licensed Floyd Rose that is really, really good. The one on my well, it's a Bernie, but it's also Fernandez is the same company. Great licensed Floyd Rose on that one. Like I said, I had an ESP a while back that was a licensed Floyd Rose. That one was also fantastic. So anything that's like an official Floyd Rose, that's going to be a great bridge. In general, if you can choose between that and something with a Floyd Rose special, go with the other one. The Floyd Rose special, it's not necessarily going to be bad, but there's a increased likeliness that it's going to need a little work. You're going to have to replace a few things on it to really make it solid and functional. Okay? Hopefully I cleared up a few things on that. I get a lot of questions about bridges and stuff. Reed. Do you like Nirvana? Reed, I don't. I hope that doesn't break your heart. And although it's true, I am from Seattle. And I am of the generation of people that should like Nirvana. I don't like Nirvana. And let me tell you why. Okay, I'm going to tell you why I don't like Nirvana. I'm also going to talk about a little something about Kurt Cobain. The band, that band, okay, there are artists and bands that are iconic. And then there are artists and bands that are good. You can be iconic and you can be good. But you can also be one or the other. You don't have to be both. You can be both, but you don't have to be both. Nirvana, and Kurt Cobain in particular, was a band that was iconic. Okay, band and artist. Influential. I mean, holy crap. You'll be hard pressed to find another artist that was more influential than Nirvana. Maybe Jimi Hendrix, Chuck Berry, somebody like that basically like launched an entire genre of music. But was he a good singer? No. Was he a good guitarist? No. He could barely tune a guitar. If you read biographies and you read, even things he wrote, I'm not saying this to insult anybody. I'm just like, these are just like facts of history. If you read his autobiography, he was a very troubled person in a lot of ways. So, and sometimes stress and troubled times can lead to great art. In this case, I don't think it did. But the other thing, because of the timing, because of when all this happened, all of the rock and metal that had been going basically since the beginning of rock and roll, coming up into the early 90s, the entire grunge, alternative, that entire movement, you can't say it wouldn't have happened without Kurt Cobain, but I think you can say he was the catalyst, right? He was the guy who, boom, pushed everything forward. And so, in terms of like mainstream popular music, like that essentially killed all of the stuff that I really love. Didn't kill it completely, but it killed it for a good decade, right? So no, I don't like Nirvana, and it's not the worst band ever, but I think the band is, people treat it as if it's the same as the Beatles or something like that, and I just don't agree with that. Now, I think of myself as a person of science. if you have evidence that Nirvana is a great band, then I would love to hear it, and I will consider it. So, yeah, that's... yeah. All right, so what are we doing here? Okay, one more question on here. Glenn Chidley wanted to know, what have I learned from all of this, uh, my arm situation and all that stuff? And that's a good question, and something I've been thinking about. So I have learned a lot of things, but I think the main things is that I have limits, and I need to respect my own limitations. Um, the reason I hurt my arm is I had really, really, really been pushing myself way too hard. I've gotten into a lifestyle where I stay up late working on things, working on videos or music stuff. I stay up late. I get up early the next morning. I have a lot of various obligations in my life, and I'm always like, well, I only got 3 hours of sleep, but I was able to do this the next day, and well, if I did that, then I could do it again, and maybe I could only do 2 hours of sleep. I was always trying to push myself further, and on one hand, it's like, well, I get a lot done, so it's I guess I was able to justify it that way. But uh, I had been working this entire weekend when I hurt my arm. I'd been working my entire weekend on moving all my furniture, all this stuff. I've been staying up late. I've been packing things up the week before. I was, on 2 or 3 hours of sleep every night for a long period of time. And then I was working into the next, like Sunday, working into Monday morning, like heavy duty stuff, moving furniture, this kind of thing. And then I tore my bicep tendon, and I was lifting something that was like way too heavy for me. And maybe if I'd been like super fresh and had gotten a lot of sleep and all this stuff, maybe I could have done it. But even then, it would have been like, not pretty. And so I lifted this thing up and had it up for a second, then snap, and I tore my bicep tendon. And so it's like, I had this really stupid idea that, no, I can keep going. I can keep going. I don't need to stop. I don't need to rest. Other people can do that, but not me. Like this very arrogant uh, opinion of my ability to work hard, I guess. So that's the biggest thing I've learned is that no, like I can't continuously push myself. I do have to give myself a rest. Um, I need to respect my limitations and that kind of stuff. So that's what I've learned from it. Okay, guys. So I'm going to go through the chat a little bit more here, and answer a few more questions, and we're going to do a giveaway. We are going to do a giveaway. I'm going to give away couple of effects. I've got a wah pedal and another effect pedal. I'm going to give them both together to some lucky person who's watching. Okay. There's some good. I'm just looking over here to look at my comments here. Give away my cast. that's kind of gross, actually. But no, they got rid of it at the hospital, I think. That's fine. Okay. Confused wants to know how long I've been playing. So I've been playing guitar since I was about 15, 14, something like that. But I played other instruments before that. I've actually played the violin first. And I started playing that when I was 9. So pretty early start in music. Guitar I didn't start until 14 or 15. Oh, and so it's almost 20 years. Yeah, no, it is 20 years. All right. Joe, I'm not a Virgo, I'm a Cancer. Okay. Uh, Daniel, yeah. Oh, yeah. For other people who are just tuning in, I have been. So I can't play guitar normally, but if I hold the guitar up straight up, I can play a little bit of lead stuff. But I can't play it when it's normal, and I can't really do chords. But it's getting there. It's coming. I'm just trying to not, I'm trying to not push it too bad right now. Yeah. Thoughts on multi-effects pedals? They're really cool. I like a lot of the Boss GT stuff. I've got an old one around here someplace, but a lot of I like a lot of multi-effects stuff. Ooh. Ryan wants to know what are some crucial things to learn when self-teaching guitar? I think the most important things to learn have more to do with how you learn, like how your brain works. Practice often. Don't try to do like one practice session a week for 8 hours. Do 8 1 hour practice sessions, right? Same amount of time, but you'll get a lot more accomplished if you do it more often. It's not so much the total amount of time. Okay, the other thing is modes. When you learn scales, you learn modes, which is uh, if you start on a different note in a scale, it becomes a different mode, and how the modes relate to each other. That's really very useful. It helps you develop um, harmony. Understanding how harmony works is really helpful. So just learning the common scales, minor pentatonic, major pentatonic, natural minor, major scales, maybe a harmonic minor. Those are kind of like the essentials to start with, in my opinion. The blues scale, which is just the harmonic, no, I'm sorry. The blues scale, which is just the pentatonic minor with an extra note, the flat 5, very useful. Fretmaster, haven't had a chance to play that exact Epiphone, but that sounds really cool. hmm Sonic. Open, yeah, I could play chords with one. Yeah, I guess I could play like, a drop, open tuning or like a, drop day tuning or something. I could do some chords that way. Well, I could maybe, it might be like, maybe I could do it over the neck. But the problem is like rotating my wrist. I can't really do that very well. Yeah, Dan Mum. Yeah, if you guys caught the last two review videos I've done, Dan Mum was a guest and he was doing the playing for me. He's a good buddy of mine, fantastic guitar player. If you guys are into sort of neoclassical playing or really any kind of instrumental guitar work, definitely check out his stuff. It's really cool. He combines a lot of different genres these days. Fretmaster, do I think Zakk Wylde is the best? The best? I don't know about that. He's great though, for sure. And Zakk Wylde is one of these guys who has a distinctive style. I think that's one of the best things you can achieve as a musician is to have a recognizable style where somebody, they hear you play and it's like, oh, that's so and so. Guys like Zakk Wylde, Yngwie, Steve Vai, maybe Michelangelo Badio, guys like that, where you can listen to them and it's like, oh, I know who that is. Zakk Wylde is definitely like that. Bill, thank you. Oh, Ryan, do I like EVH guitars? What about Dean? Dean makes some really cool guitars. Um, like I can't pick any company where I like every single one of their guitars, but Dean has a lot of cool ones. Curly Project, yeah, Atrophy, Bad Times. Um, because of the surgery and then having the cast on, I haven't been able to go to the gym in like, I don't know, 5 weeks or something like that. It's kind of terrible, but it's doctor's orders, so I don't want to mess anything up. All right. Oh, James, good Raptor Command. Good question. I've been talking to Deacon Lacrosse, who is the lead guitar player from Raptor Command. I am not the lead guitar player in that band, and we are planning that he is going to be joining me on one of my upcoming videos later this month, actually. So pretty soon, and he's amazing. Deacon Lacrosse, check him out. Ryan Ryan says I did too many bicep curls. I think I didn't do enough, was what happened. Okay, so guys, real quick, I want to give a few shout outs here. While I've been doing, dealing with my recovery and everything, some people have reached out to me, sent me emails and things. Guy named Jim who sent me a CD of his music, which was really nice, as just a gift to listen to while I was recovering. Thanks a lot for that, Jim. Also, Lane, guy named Lane, who had a similar injury, although his was actually worse. He sent me an email, just really very encouraging. I really appreciated getting that. And also everybody who has signed up on the Patreon. Um, I posted a few of the details about the surgery on there and things like that. And I really appreciate everybody who signed up on there. I know there are a few people who are viewing who are also on there, so thanks a lot. And guys, there have been literally hundreds, maybe thousands of comments on my recent videos, just people saying, get well soon. We hope you're feeling good, things like that. I read all the comments and thank you guys really for leaving all those. It's it's really heartwarming, and it's just nice to know that people are pulling for me and everything. So and really I think those good feelings, I think I've been able to keep a pretty good attitude throughout all of this, throughout the recovery, and I think that good attitude, which is a result of all that support from you guys, that helps the healing process. That helps me, stay active, and I'm continuing to work on the videos in the way that I can and everything. So really, really appreciate all that stuff, guys. Okay, so another thing I want to talk about. Oh, you know what, guys? Just give me a minute here. I ate this. I made this whole bowl of popcorn. I've had hardly any of it. I'm just gonna chill out for a second with you guys here. Just light butter popcorn, by the way, and I did not add any salt. So, it's really good though. Yeah, stale popcorn. No bueno. Hmm. Do I own a? Okay, Ruben is asking if I own a flying V. Uh, I don't. Oh, you know what? I have one V. I have one flying V, like a proper, symmetric, Gibson flying V. And I used to have an LTD Arrow. I don't have a lot of Vs. Now that I think about it, I like Vs. I do have a Schecter V, but it actually belongs to somebody else. And I was just borrowing it for a while. And he just contacted me a couple days ago. He wants it back. So I don't have a lot of Vs. I think I only own one V right now, which is kind of amazing considering how many guitars I have. And I like Vs. One of the ones I want to get is Jackson and their JS series, their budget series. They make, I think it's a Jackson JS It's like the 32RM. It's the Rhodes V, but it has a reverse headstock, and I think it has a maple fretboard, and it looks really, and it's got um, like a red trim around the body. It looks really cool, and it's like $300 or something. It's a really good deal. Jaguar guitars. I don't have any. I don't have any Jaguars. Yeah. To be totally honest, most of the stuff I have, I mean, most of what I have is Strat style guitars. If I really think about it, I'm maybe 60% Strat style guitars, and then I've got a handful of single cut guitars, LP type guitars, and then I've got some weird stuff. I've got a couple of star shapes and maybe like 3 or 4 SGs, a couple of PRS body styles. Most of what I have is Strat stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm. 3 card Monty. So you make an interesting point there. Let me show you guys something here. So this is a IYV guitar. Very bare bones, basic, kind of a dinky knockoff, like a Jackson Dinky knockoff. I bought this guitar brand new for $54. And it's got pretty good frets, no real bad fret ends, very level frets. It could use a little massaging, a little bit of work. Very straightforward controls. 3-way toggle switch, tone, volume, that kind of thing. Pretty good. The tuners are not that good. Tuners could be replaced. But this is exactly the kind of platform that you would want to get. Replace these tuners, maybe the pots, maybe not, and then you can get these active pickup kits, like knockoff active pickups, not knockoffs, but just generic active pickups, like with a pair of humbuckers and the 25K pots and everything you need to install it. Everything you need to install it for like 40-50 bucks on eBay. So with the cost of this guitar and some new pickups, and let's say you even do the tuners, a new set of tuners also, for probably like 125 bucks. There's 24 frets on this guitar, and a little bit of work, a little bit of maybe fret filing and things like that, oil the fretboard. Let's say all in 140 bucks. You can build yourself, a killer like 24 fret Super Strat shred machine. And that's what I'm going to do with this guitar. Again, once I'm able to play again. See, now I have to freaking stand up to hang this back up because I can't use both arms. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do with that guitar. It's going to be sort of a budget shred build. Maybe next month I'll get to that. All right. Oh yeah, I've got a Black Star. I love that amp though. Guitar Addicts. I'm not sure. Locking nut or locking tuners for trim. I mean, you want both, right? Are you talking about locking tuners up at the headstock? Like the individual tuners have a lock on them? Are you talking about that versus the locking nut? Is that your question? Oh yeah, the IYV guitars. IYV stands for in your vase. I don't know. I have no idea. So individual effects or multi effects? That question has come up several times here. Oh, yeah. So, okay. Let me answer the multi effect thing in a second. Guitar addicts. So, if you're using a trem and you're actually using it, I would always go with the locking nuts. God, this hair is bugging me here. All right. I would always go with the locking nuts. The problem I have with the locking, like the tuning machines, like individual tuners that lock, problem I have with those is in some situations where I'm playing like really loud, like a rehearsal or live, I've actually had the tuners unlock, like they back out on me. And I've had that happen with a couple of different brands. And usually people just use those so they don't have to have as many windings on the with the strings on the peg, right? So usually you put it through the hole. You put the string through the hole on the tuner peg, and then rather than wind it around a bunch of times to hold it in there, it just goes through the hole once. Maybe you wind it one time, you trim it off, and then you lock the lock on the back of the tuner locks the string in place in the peg. That's usually what people use them for. But the problem that I've had with them is that they back out and then the string can pull out. So and you don't want to pull out, right? Okay. So for if you're using a trem, I mean, I would always use the locking nuts. Yeah. There's a video somewhere that I think it happened to Herman Lee. He was playing, and you know, his E-Gin guitar. Of course, it's got the trem with the locking nuts and everything. I think he broke the headstock while he was playing, but it broke after the locking nut, and so he was actually just to finish the show with the headstock just like dangling down there because the locking nut was still intact. Yeah. Mm. You guys want some popcorn? This is really good. All right. There you go. Maybe I should just do this. You know, maybe my videos from here on out should just be me sitting here eating popcorn. Not even going to talk to anybody. Mm. This is really good though. I uh, I saw Avengers Endgame last night. Have you guys seen that yet? Popcorn reviews. Okay. I think I'm going to start doing that. Yeah, let's not talk about Endgame. Tyler, so favorite sounding pickup is really hard to pick. I really do like Seymour Duncan Blackouts. I really do like those. But it depends on the musical situation, right? You know, if you want like a Strat, cracky kind of sound, um, then of course that pickup's not going to work for that. But I really do like the Duncan Blackouts. All right. Oh, okay. I've had a little popcorn. Now, want to talk a little bit about my next few videos coming up. I've got another, Dan Mum helped me out on a couple of videos recently. Got another buddy of mine. This is tentatively scheduled. I don't want to talk too much about it because like sometimes things fall through or whatever, but tentatively scheduled. Another buddy of mine, another great guitar player. What is going on? This freaking hair has been bugging me this entire time here. Okay. I don't want to talk too much about it because things always, sometimes they fall through. But I've got a buddy of mine, Deacon Lacrosse, who's going to come down and help me on one of my next videos. And this video, I'm going to review a guitar. Guys ready for this? This is going to be the most expensive guitar by a long shot that I have ever reviewed. Okay. I love, we all love the affordable, like, hey, you go buy this for $60, This is not going to be one of those videos, but it's an extremely expensive guitar, but very, very, very cool guitar. And I think you guys have probably never seen a guitar like this. It's not just like, oh, here's an expensive Les Paul, like they made one, they made 30 of them or something. Like, it's nothing like that. It's a very rare, very, very handmade, very unique guitar. And so he's going to come down, and we're planning to have him come down. This is going to be in a couple of weeks, so I'm hoping that by then I'll be able to play it a little bit. So if everything goes to plan, I will be doing some playing. Deacon Lacrosse will also be doing some playing. He's a virtuoso, just fantastic player, and we're going to be checking out this guitar. I don't want to say too much more about it because I want the particular guitar and everything to be a surprise, but I think it's going to be a really, really cool video. So definitely stay tuned for that. Now, raise your hand and type something if you guys watched my What's the Deal with Chris and Pelletieri video that I released a few weeks ago. Did you guys watch the Chris and Pelletieri video I did? Ryan did. James did. A bunch of people did. Fret Level Midnight did. Mountain did. Okay. Lots of hands. Yeah, and Pelletieri's awesome. Now, look, I'll be straight with you guys here because this is the live stream and I'm talking to the real people here, okay? I always do these videos, right? And I put the title and the thumbnail, and you guys think I'm going to insult them. I did that with the Anita Strauss video. I did it with the Kristen Pelletieri video. I chose the thumbnail where he's wearing a Santa hat. It's ridiculous. And you guys know, I put it out there like, oh, he's going to bash on Kristen Pelletieri. I'm going to watch that. Right? And then I go in, I'm like, yeah, actually, he's a great guitar player. I did the same thing with the Anita Strauss video. I know it's a little bit clickbaity, but I mean, I had a really good time making those videos. That video in particular took me a really long time to make because of all the editing in it. You know, it's a green screen setup. I have to go and find all this obscure, like, Japanese footage and stuff. Yeah, it's very clickbait. Okay, but you guys, that's how I do. You know, with those bio videos where I'm talking about a person, that's how I like to do them. Because there's so many YouTubers out there. There's so many, like, guitar YouTubers who just like to kind of bash on things. They just like to rip on things. I don't like to do that. I mean, there's so much, like, there's so much just like people focus on the bad stuff too much, I think. I mean, there's so many people who already do that. I like to, like, maybe this seems ridiculous, but maybe there's actually something really cool about it. Like with the Animetal USA stuff. On the surface, it's like, what is this? But when you actually listen to the music and the technique involved and stuff, and the writing and the arrangements of the songs, some really cool stuff in there. So that's kind of how I like to present things, right? I like to, like, your first instinct is that, like, what, there's something ridiculous about it, but you dive a little deeper and it turns out really cool. So I'm going to do another one of those videos. The Kristen Pelletieri video was really well received. It went over really well. I think it's got like 50 something thousand views in a few weeks, so it was a pretty good video. So I'm going to do another video I'm going to start doing those videos, like, where I'm talking about an artist or a band or something like that. More of like a infotainment video, or I don't want to say educational, but I'm just maybe talking about something about music, a history of a band, or an artist or something like that. So, like I said, those videos take me longer to do, so I'm not going to do them as often, but maybe once every couple of months, I'm going to do one of those videos. And it's fun for me, because it's, something a little bit different. So I've got another one of those videos that I'm planning, and it's going to be a lot of fun, I think. It's about a guitar player, and it's about a guitar player who has a very unique career path. Like, how they got famous was very unique, and a guitar player that a lot of people love and a lot of people hate, right? Very polarizing, okay? So I think this is going to be a good person to feature. And also, this is a guitar player that what's a good way to say it? Became famous kind of very, very quickly. And then maybe you haven't really heard of this person in a while, a few years. Kind of been, they got really, really famous, like, all of a sudden. Everybody was talking about him for a while, and then not much going on lately. But this person is still performing and still doing a lot of stuff, and so I'm going to look at the history of their career, how they got famous, what the results of that were, that instant, I don't want to say instant success, but and then what they're doing today. And I think it's going to be really fun. All right. Next videos. Okay, so the other thing is, we're doing this live stream. I'm going to continue doing the live streams. I really like these. Once a month, kind of around the same time. I think this is working pretty good. And I am going to do another video that's more just focused on my, like, recovery process with my arm. I've got some pictures and stuff of, like, the bones in my arm and things like that that I'll include in there. So that'll be kind of a different video. Just talking about the recovery process and what it has been like from, like, playing guitar all the time to suddenly I wasn't able to play at all. And just a little bit of the my own kind of psychology of going through that process, and then a little bit about the things I'm going to be doing coming up to rehab my playing and that kind of stuff. Yeah, so those are the next videos. So guys, I'll take a few more questions. Well, I think we'll start kind of wrapping this up pretty soon. I'll take a few more questions, and then I'm going to do a giveaway, all right? I'm going to give away some effects pedals to some lucky person. All right. Real quick, though, because I've got everybody here, I want to ask you guys, if you look at my budget guitar videos, effects videos, maybe just like weird guitar, like the Gibsons, or like I reviewed like an old Ibanez Gem once, and then my biographical videos where I'm talking about a particular guitar player. What is there anything you guys would like to see more of, or maybe videos that are along those lines that I haven't done? Anything that you feel like, or videos that like uh, mod videos, where I teach you guys how to like install, something in the guitar, how to make a modification. Is there anything that you would like to see more of that I have already done, or something that you think is related that I have never done that you would like to see on the channel? Since I've got everybody here, give me your ideas. Okay. Okay, some people like the more bios, more guitar reviews. Okay. Hmm. Fan fret guitars. Okay, so more like modern stuff. Budget, budget, budget. Okay, so definitely, yeah, I'm always going to do the budget stuff. Obscure things. Okay, that's cool. I know everybody's been dying for me to do the review on my Metaltronics amp. I am going to do that, you know, one of these days. I got to rent a studio to do it though, because that amp is so loud. Mobile things. Okay, that's interesting. So like you want to record an album on your phone or something, right? Okay, mods. Smaller guitar makers. So okay, so maybe like new companies or companies that are a little bit under the radar. Okay, pickups. A kit guitar. The reason I haven't done. Sorry, there's some dust in my face here. The reason I haven't done a kit guitar is um, Dan Thompson over at Guns and Guitars does a lot of those kit guitars, and he's really really good at his videos and the kits that he makes. So I kind of feel like that's something that's already covered. But tone, oh tone, okay, dialing in a tone. Okay. Oh, I'm drinking Bang. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Guests. I do want to have more guests on the videos. Headphones and mics. That's interesting. One of the videos I am planning, I'm still in the planning stages of it, but one of the videos I am going to do is, you can go out on Amazon or something and you can buy like a recording studio kit where it has an interface, a microphone, a pair of headphones, like a mic stand, a very bare bones recording setup uh, for like $100, something like that. I want to get one of those kits and then use like a free uh, DAW, Audacity or something, and show you guys how somebody with like $100 they can basically record, you know, demos or whatever they want to record. I think that'd be a cool thing. Okay. Francis, riff of the week tutorial. I mean, it's a good idea, but there are a lot of people who do that, and it kind of goes through the same, like, I hate to say this, but I think, there's 52 weeks in a year. I think I'm just going to get sick of doing it every week. James, when it is saying interviews, I've done a couple of interviews, and they just didn't go over very well. Like, people didn't really seem to respond to them. I would like to do more interviews. Like, it's really interesting for me to do them. But the ones I've done just didn't really get much of a response. But I'll try. I'll try again. All right. Ryan, yeah, amps. Yeah, I'm gonna do more amp reviews. Amp reviews are a little trickier for me to do. Um, just recording the amp. If it's a big amp, it's harder to do. Okay. 2 beers, riff tutorials. Yeah, I know the section 13. Strings and tunings. Travel vlog. I actually do have an idea that's kind of a travel vlog, like let's take a road trip to a guitar center in Fresno or something like that. Just to buy a guitar. Um, I'm trying to think of I would like to do something like that. I'm trying to think of just a way to make it interesting. I don't know. I'm really, guys. I'm one of the outside of music. One of the things I'm really into is aviation, like general aviation and airplanes and everything. And so I'm trying to think of a way I can get like a buddy who has a little airplane, single engine prop, as they say, uh, and like fly, like take a little airplane and fly to like a guitar center in another state or something like that, and then bring it back. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, I have a million ideas, and all of these things are dependent on me getting back in action. I think you guys can you see my scar? Yeah, that's my scar there, where they slice it open, they pull the tendon, they pull the bicep muscle, they pull the tendon down, and then they like screw it onto the bone. But honestly, it's looking really good right now, guys. A couple weeks ago, this was looking pretty gnarly. I'm actually just glad that it's where it is. If it was like out here or something, like bang it on something and rip it open, like nothing really ever happens at the inside of your elbow. So yeah, budget recording, collab bros react. This is Guitar Max for Collab Bros React. Awesome channel. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, there you go. Now you can edit that and do whatever you want with it. Okay. Ryan. Yeah, Ryan, thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate it. All right. Yeah, the Dark Savage. When I was in the hospital, I said, hey, if you can put some adamantium bones in there or something, if you got some parts laying around in the back that the government guys left there, please do it. I don't think they did. All right, guys. Okay, guys. We're at about an hour and 23 minutes here. I think it's time to give something away. What do you guys think? I know it's always funny when you're talking to people on here and they don't have like Tim Swanson. They have like some like 90s email name or something, and it'll be like Dark Side 69 2003, or like that'll be their name on here. All right. Yeah. All right. Okay. So here's what I got for you. We're gonna do a giveaway here. I've got a wah pedal. Now this is not the most expensive wah pedal ever made, but I did a review on this quite a while ago, like a year ago, year and a half ago, and it works. It works great. It works perfectly fine. I used it for the review. I used it a little bit after that, and then it's unfortunately for the wah pedal, it's just been sitting in a box. So I want to find somebody who would get use out of a wah pedal, and the person that this is going to be ideal for is somebody who doesn't have a wah pedal, who would like to use one. Maybe they haven't used one before, and they, so this is like a good starter wah pedal, right? It's like you get like a crybaby or something. It's a good one to start with, and then maybe you'll use this and be like, yeah, I like it, and then maybe you'll get something on, something more, with more features or something later on down the road, because um, this is very, it's a basic, very basic, it's no controls or anything. You step on it to turn it on like a Dunlop Crybaby. Okay, do you hear the click? Uh, well, I'll do it with my foot here. There we go. Okay, so you step on it, turn it on, step on it again to turn it off. It's got the jacks right in the front here. Runs on a standard 9-volt battery, or you can use a external power supply. So, I'm giving away a wah pedal. I'm also giving away. This is the pedal that I just reviewed from Kugu. This is the 11-in-1 modulation pedal. This is really cool. This is a really cool pedal. Now, this is a mini pedal, right? So there's no internal battery compartment in this pedal, which means you'll have to use an external power supply for this, 9-volt power supply. What's really cool about this modulation pedal, so phasers, flangers, chorus pedals, vibrato. I mean, this does all of this stuff. It's got this big knob in the middle. You turn the knob, select the different effect that you want. You've got 3 knobs up at the top: level, speed, and depth, to control the parameters, right? 2 different kinds of chorus, 2 different kinds of flanger. The jet setting, which is like an old, I forget the name, AC flanger or something, and it's an old 80s flanger that has this really crazy sound. It's got a phaser, a couple of different kinds of tremolo, and a I think it's an envelope filter. I'm sorry, I don't know exactly. They call it an A filter. Okay, right? All right. Anyway, so I'm going to give this away with the wah pedal. Okay. So now, White Lion Flange. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah. It's a little digital processor in a pedal. So yeah, this is the Kugu Mod Digital Mod 1. Okay, now, it's got to be somebody who's watching right now. Okay? Father Rock, favorite airplane? A Mooney M20J 201. Okay? All right. Now I need to choose somebody on here. This is always really hard. Okay. Lucifer's Axe. That's a great name. Otis, Scott, Ruben, Mountain Man Music. Yeah. Tyler says he's always wanted to be Kirk Hammett. Well, one way to become Kirk Hammett is to own a wah pedal. Yeah. Ruben. I like to choose people who are very involved in the channel. So I'm looking for a name maybe that I've seen comment a lot. Yes. Oh, Otis, good point. The last guy who won was also named Tyler. I don't want it to seem like I'm, playing favorites with the name Tyler. The Dank Savage says that they need a wah pedal. If I give it to the Dank Savage, I'm going to write that on the package. So I'll mail it to, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, the Dank Savage, something like that. So I don't know about that. Steve says he needs a wah. Wood go, Strat guitar. I gotta look at these comments again here. This guy says, "Yeah, I don't need the pedal, but just choose me." Well, that's not convincing. Robert. Okay, well, look, there's somebody on here. I hate to say I'm having trouble figuring out how to pronounce this name. Ira, the son of the other guy. Ira. Am I pronouncing your name right? Irha. Ira, right? Show. Okay, Ira, how old are you, man? 13. Okay. Now, don't tell me your address, but just like what general area do you live in? Like what state? Michigan. Great. Okay. Okay, Ira, you are going to get the wah pedal and the modulation pedal. Now, you probably, hopefully this will kind of get you started. This is, like I said, this is a good first wah pedal to use. Um, you can get used to, how to use the wah pedal and that kind of thing. Build some wah technique with this. You can learn all the Kirk Hammett solos, and then you can, sort of graduate later on. You can get, a wah pedal that has more settings and things like that on. But this will really get you started, and this is going to be a great thing to, play around with as well. So again, this is another good first pedal to use because you've got a bunch of different types of effects in this one pedal. You can learn the sound of the different effects, and then if you want to get like let's say you like chorus, this has a chorus setting. Let's say you like the chorus, then you can get used to the sound of the effect with this pedal, and then later on down the road you can get a dedicated chorus pedal that has more controls, so you can have a little bit more control over the exact parameters and that kind of stuff. Okay, so these are two great pedals that'll get you going. So Ira, yeah, yeah, we're all very happy for you, and what I want you to do is either you or your dad, who I know is also watching, if you go to my either find me on Facebook, which is fairly easy to do, or if you go to my website, which is maxwell.com or maxcarlisle.com or guitarmaxmusic.com, those all go to the same website. If you look through if you buried in there somewhere is my email address. I make it accessible but not too easy to get. But so either contact me through Facebook. I'll ask you a few questions to make sure that I know it's you and that kind of stuff, and then we'll get in touch and I will ship this stuff to you. Okay? Okay, awesome. All right. Okay, guys. So I think we're going to wrap things up here. Again, congrats to Ira for being here in the chat and being just a cool guy in general. I think he's going to enjoy those pedals. And yeah, just wrap things up. Again, everybody who's signed up on my Patreon, thanks a lot for doing that. I really appreciate it. If anybody's interested in doing that, who hasn't already done it, patreon.com/guitarmax. There's like a $1 thing on there if you just want to get involved in that without spending too much. I've got, I still can't exactly play guitar right now, but it's getting very close to where I can play again, and I'm still going to be bringing out new videos. And the next stuff coming up is going to be, I have a really cool guitar that my buddy Deacon Lacrosse is going to come down and help me out with a review. Like I said, it's the most expensive guitar I have ever reviewed, and it's really unique, really cool, very handmade, but not handmade in a weird way, like handmade in a cool way, if you guys know what I mean. All right. And guys, I'm going to continue doing my live streams. I really enjoy these. I'm going to do these monthly live streams, and so we'll do another one kind of towards the beginning of the month next month. And just yeah, guys, just stay tuned. So what I'd like to do is a week before the live stream, I'll do a post here on YouTube, and I'll ask, hey, anybody got any questions they want to ask and things like that. I'll try and address that stuff. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and finish things up here. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Had a really good time talking with everybody. Again, Ira, I'll talk to you later on, and we'll get those effects sent out to you. Okay. All right. All right, guys. That's it for now. I'll keep you posted. The next video coming out is going to be a more technical update on my arm recovery, and then after that, I think there'll be another guitar review. All right, guys. That's it for now. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and I'll see you guys soon. All right. See you guys.